This is going to be my weekly Cancer reading, and you can watch this if you are a Cancer, if you have Cancer anywhere in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, or you can cross watch for a love interest that's a Cancer. Um, I used my fairy cards, and also these here in the middle are my fortune telling deck by Kipper. I love this deck right here. I try to use these in all of my readings because they're very specific and they give very specific messages. And then I have my Mythical Goddess Tarot cards down here at the bottom. And this is also, I have several tarot decks, but this is my favorite one. I do love these. They're just really nice. You have several travel cards. It looks like you're going to be doing some traveling soon. You have the Wild Hunt, Excitement, Frenzy, Journey. And this could be a spiritual journey. I mean, if you are on some sort of spiritual journey like I have been on, I mean, this could signify that. And you always know when you're on a spiritual journey because you begin changing. And you change in a lot of ways. You really start improving different areas of your life. You start looking at things that have happened and you start having like more clarity as to why that they happened the way that they did happen, and you start accepting things more, and you really start raising your vibrations as far as being more accepting and being more present. And a lot of times you start looking for answers on the internet. That's what I did when I started my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening. I started looking for answers. I started connecting to my soul, and discovered that I had spirit guides that I didn't know that I had. And it was just a lot of changes. But this could be a spiritual journey, or this could actually be a physical journey that you're about to embark on. And this message is for more than one person, so take what resonates. Because we have several journey cards. We also have this journey card here, which shows travel. This could be somebody's coming towards you. Maybe you've been waiting on the arrival of another person. So this could signify that too, that you have, traveling, or you might be moving, embarking on a journey, or someone's coming to you, or, it could be a spiritual journey. Because I also have the Pathway card, and I'm kind of going out of order because these cards kind of all go together. But the Pathway card, whenever I get this card, I always kind of take this as like a journey also. Or this also can mean that you are on the right path right now. That everything that's happening is happening just like it's supposed to happen. So you do have those three cards that all kind of go together. Also, you have the Healer, the Nourishment, and the Nurture card. So it does look like you have been working on yourself. It looks like, and you could be healing your inner child right now. Maybe you are giving up some bad habits, detoxing, from foods, from substances. Sometimes we have to detox from people who are no longer good for us, who no longer resonate with us. So I do feel like you have been working on yourself. So maybe, this spiritual journey card is more appropriate as far as, being on a spiritual journey. And we're all on a spiritual journey because life is a spiritual journey. I've been on a twin flame journey since 2016. I don't talk about it too much anymore. I do write about it in my blog, but that is my spiritual journey. And I just found out, just over like the past month, that everyone has a twin flame. So it's just a matter of, running into the other part of you out there, the other part of your soul, because we're all made in twos. Everyone is. You always have another half, and it's like your mirror half. They're your perfect mirror. So you might be embarking on a spiritual journey. If not, you're about to. Or you might be getting ready to travel. And you are nourishing your soul right now. You are You are doing some inner work, some inner healing, working on yourself, improving yourself. We have the King of the Darkwood Elves card, authority, credibility, status. So this is telling me that you've been real focused on the physical world. Maybe trying to achieve some sort of fame or some sort of status, social status. And the message that's coming from Spirit is to, it's all right to seek material gain and success, but everything starts within first, because whatever is going on within, you reflect outwardly. So it's always best, I tell people, it's always best to start inward. And that would involve doing your healing work, your inner child, all of that. And then everything else will fall into place. But never seek something outside of yourself, because you have everything that you need already within. Then we have the Shapeshifter card, and this is telling me that you are able to adapt to any situation that you're put in. But you see where there's this mask on here. Make sure that you're not losing yourself when you do that. Make sure that you're staying true to who you are. And that is important. Yes, it's one thing to be able to adapt and change, to adapt to situations, but make sure you're not doing that, especially in relationships, because that's codependency. And that's never good. And I'm trying to get away from using words like good, bad, whatever, because I don't use judgment anymore as far as judging things. I just look at things as they're happening exactly like they're supposed to happen at the current moment. So I'm trying not to use words like that. But just know, always be true to yourself, always. Then we have the Family Room card. And this is letting me know that, you need to, the message that I'm getting, the energy that I'm getting from this card, is that you need to spend more time at home reflecting. Make sure that you have plenty of time to rest and recuperate. I mean, it's one thing to work hard and be trying to achieve goals or whatnot, but make sure that you stay balanced and you still have enough time to, actually sit at home and relax and spend time with family members and, do things that count, because that's all that matters in the long run anyway. It doesn't make any difference what you own. It's all about the quality of your life. And I already talked about that Journey card. There's a Poverty card here, but I don't take this to mean that you're going to be impoverished. I take this to mean that if you have been having money problems, those are about to improve a lot. But once again, you can have material wealth and be impoverished on a soul level because you're not taking the time to nourish yourself or the time to recuperate. Or maybe you are just spending so much time shape-shifting and adapting to situations that you're not being yourself, so you're impoverished on a soul level. So do make sure that you are feeding your soul every day as far as what you need to grow. And we did talk about this pathway, and so I do feel like you are on the right path. If you've been worried about whether or not you are on the right path, this is confirmation that you are. Everything's unfolding just like it's supposed to right now. I'm getting that message loud and clear. And then I have the Mother Mary sacrifice card. And this, to me, is the same energy as that Shapeshifter card. This is all about sacrificing yourself for someone else. To feel like, I want to be with somebody else and I need to change and I need to adapt to fit into their life. And that is not how it works. Because basically, if you have to do that, then they were never for you in the first place. The key is to be your authentic self and to be true to yourself and to nourish yourself, like I had said earlier, and to not worry so much about fitting in with others and seeking outward validation, but being true to yourself. And once you do that, the right person will come along. Because if someone is not for you, then they will move out of the way and make room for somebody else to come in. But always make sure that you're not in a situation where you're looking for someone else to fulfill you, that you're able to actually nourish your own soul and fulfill yourself first. We have the Crone Ascension card. And I feel like usually this has to do with spiritual ascension or opening the third eye. But in this particular case, I feel like this has to do with you getting clarity and actually seeing a situation for what it's worth. And actually maybe even being able to walk away from that situation because you realize it's not nourishing your soul anymore. And being true to yourself and knowing that whatever is for you, you cannot lose. And whatever is not for you is what you feel like you have to fit into. It's like fitting that square peg into a round hole. And if it's not fitting, then let it go. And this card here is letting you know that you're going to see that. You're going to come to that realization. And you're going to start being more true to yourself, which is really important because that's what a soul journey is all about. We have the Purifier card. And to me, this card, you know how they say that things are purified by fire? So whatever it is that you're going through right now, if you are going through the fire, it is purifying you. And what's going to be left is going to be your authentic self. It's going to be your true self. It's going to be who you really are, and everything else is going to fall to the side. And anything and anybody who's not truly for you, because you're going to see that, because you're going to get clarity on that, is going to fall to the wayside. And what you're going to be left with is what was purified in the fire. So I am showing that, you know, even though it might feel like right now that things are a little rough, things are going to get a lot easier because we have the isolation card. And I have here that you are feeling isolated, you're feeling alone, you're feeling like you don't have anybody, but you have you. And that is what is so important right now, is that you have yourself and you don't need anybody else right now. Actually spend that time alone in solitude. Regroup, nourish your soul. Stop shape-shifting and fitting yourself into other people's boxes. And be your authentic self. Stop sacrificing. Put yourself first. And do be purified by the fire. And sometimes isolation's not a bad thing. Sometimes it can protect us from situations and people. You know, and I've always said, my favorite saying has always been, there's worse things than being alone. You know, you could be misused, you could be abused, you could be used, you know. And understand, we have the power to create our own reality. And we do that by our thoughts, by what we focus on. So don't feel like I'm trying to place a victim mentality on you, but I'm saying a lot of times people are so scared of being alone that they will do anything, any type of codependent behavior to be with somebody else, when really all they need to do is to nourish their soul, work on themselves, spend time in solitude, focus on what feeds their soul and not so much on material gain. But you are on the right path. I see that very clearly. And stop seeking outward validation. All these messages are coming through very loud and clear right now. But this is your weekly reading. I'm going to put the details in the description of the video, the link to my Etsy shop. I do have 2 separate businesses. I do intuitive card readings with Oracle and Tarot cards, and that link will be my Etsy shop. I'll also include my email address and the link to my personal blog for my twin flame journey. And I also have, you know, my own scent business where I hand dip incense and I make scented products, and I'll include the details to that. They're also going to be on my Etsy shop as well. So be sure and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.